So I also took the time to read some of the issue brief, for example, and the one on jobs, for example, is one of the critical issues at Rio+20. And when I was reading it on the section entitled Delivery of Commitments, I was surprised to see that this document highlights the role of young people and also women. And it was the same with the declaration after the UNDP NGO conference that took place in Bonn in September last year. I asked myself if some of these issue briefs really highlight the importance of having young people, why they didn't propose, for example, to have an issue brief on youth. So I was really surprised. And I went through the major group of children and youth input submission to the Rio+20 Zero Draft document because I'm part of the major group. And we had a long process to discuss about what are we going to propose to this process. It's a global consultation. Young people are everywhere. They want to make their voice heard. So this is an opportunity for all. And then we started to organize mini consultation. We had some issues like young people from some regions, they don't have access to internet and the consultation took place online, so it was really difficult for us. But having people on the ground working with communities help us to really collect what they have in their mind. The courageous aspect of this submission is innovation. So it's really linked. We have a link between innovation and young people because young people are those, even not only young people, we want to innovate. And if we want to innovate, that means that we have some gaps somewhere. So the innovation will help us to fill the gaps. And one of the courageous innovations of this document is about creation of many institutions and mechanisms to help to improve the implementation of sustainable development in our communities. For example, the document proposed the creation of a global technology sharing facility. How can we make sure that we have a kind of very innovative process mechanism that will help us to share the knowledge, to share the resources we have, because this is one of the lack of our world today. We have some people, a very small number, having access or having all the resources, but they don't want to share them at all. And for a youth organization looking to implement a project, when the organization will address a support letter to the Ministry of the Environment, for example, the first thing the officer who will receive the request on his table will think about is, these young people once again want our money, but we don't have the money. But it's not only about the money. We have to share the resources, and this global technology sharing facility will really ensure the sharing of resources, knowledge at all levels. Another innovation is the establishment of the Global Common Trust. Global Commons, one more time. We have them, how can we share them? How can we make sure that we don't share them because people really want them, but because we want to share them first? Because when you choose a kind of action according to the request you receive, you will limit the impact of your action. But if you just give it with your heart, it will be wonderful. The establishment of a UN Council on Sustainable Development as well. And this should be like one of the subsidiary bodies of the UNGA, the United Nations General Assembly, so that we can really take sustainability as a very important topic. It's already the case now, but how can we make sure it's more interesting and powerful so that the results are really wonderful at the end? And the major group for children and youth input submission also proposed the creation of an intergovernmental panel on sustainable development one more time. And this will function as a key umbrella organization to design a sustainability research agenda and then support the work of the UN at the same time. And we also, for example, we have the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, chaired with Dr. Pashori from India, and they are doing a very wonderful work, doing some research on the ground and then providing the information that people can use. The last thing with the innovation of this input is how can we make sure that UNEP, the United Nations Environmental Program now, become more effective in terms of implementation. And the idea is to have a new UNEP become like a UN environmental organization, to be like a UN agency, very independent, having the capacity to implement the decision. And how can we make sure people, parties, governments who commit during UN meetings, because we have a lot of commitment, but the problem is at the level of the implementation. How can we make sure that we have strong, very strong policies that will even push very hard those who commit achieve the commitment, so that people will be afraid to commit if they are not sure that they are going to really, really implement what they commit for. And these are the most point with the innovation of this document. We will have the chance to read the full 7 pages. And the situation we live now is, it's like there are some gaps somewhere. We know where they are, but how can we work together in the generational partnership, multi-stakeholders approach to make sure that together we are strong. Alone you go fast, but together we go far. This is something I read somewhere recently, and I think it's really true. And that's why we should take, like, we have this sport, like you have the, I don't know the English name, the Thematic. When you run, you give it to the next runner, and they take it in. Exactly. So how can we run like that? The past generation gave us something. We have to pass it on to the next generation, and so on and so on. And this is one of the main challenges we have at the moment. How can we make sure that we give what we receive in the well state, like without any destruction? And innovation and youth goes together. According to me and according to some of the consultation we had, for example, at the Youth Assembly at the UN, we had recently last week the workshop, the panel discussion first, and during this panel discussion, we really tried to see how people welcome the ideas, and we were surprised to see that people are really supportive. They really support. It was the same with Beppe Lofoy and Chantaline Carpentier we met last week. They are working with the UNCSD Secretariat, most of you know them. And even though during the workshop we organized at the Youth Assembly at the UN, it was the same. Young people were very, most of them were surprised because first, they don't know about the UNCSD process, and secondly, they were surprised to hear that we have this amazing conference going to take place, one of the key events we will have in these last 10 years. But youth is not part of the critical issues to be discussed. We have a major group of children and youth taking part in the process. They are invited to all the meetings, to all the workshops, to all the events related to the Rio+20 process and before. But we want more. And how can we make sure to have more? We have to push for that now. And issue brief is one of the good and well-starting process. And I just want to give the floor during 1 minute to Eliane Sossman. She was one of the key organizers of the Youth Assembly at the UN. She can just take us on.
So the Youth Assembly, it's a bi-yearly event that is held by the Friendship Ambassador Foundation here at the UN headquarters. And it brings together young people from all over the world. The winter one is a little bit smaller. I can say it's about 350 youth representatives that attend. And the summer one is much larger. It's about 800. So please feel free to look up on the faf.org website for the upcoming youth event. So the youth Assembly's focus was youth-led development towards the success of the UN Millennium Development Goals. And the theme of this event was how youth can leverage technology towards the MDGs. So we had a number of great contributions from youth activists and professionals, such as these two gentlemen, in the field. And it was just really a great way how for 2 days we could all sit together, discuss approaches that have been made, technologies that have been used to connect not only youth, but also to connect young people with the decision makers, which is really something else that came out of the conference. Is it's great, yes, we youth have the energy and a lot of ideas, and the older generations, if I might call it like this, have the expertise. So we now have to really come up with ways how we can combine this and work together, instead of us young people thinking, well, we have the ideas, and the other generation thinking, well, we know it all. It doesn't work like this anymore. And technology at the same time is a great tool for us to give us the tools to create this cooperation. There were some great examples mentioned, and since I don't have much time, I can tell you there's a website called WUPI, so What's Up Youth, which has the recordings of the entire 2-day event. So if you would like to go back and look at certain contributions that were made, please feel free. So the website you can find those videos on is wupy.tv. So it's What's Up Youth TV. And yeah, I think for anything else, please feel free to ask me after this. I'm more than happy to give you some more input about things that have been discussed and yeah, the great experience we had. So to keep it short, thank you.
Thank you very much, Lydia. And this shows how young people really want their future back. It's the future we want. And with that, I will give you the floor.
Thank you very much. Perhaps Sonia would like also to share some information about your green economy, innovation activities that are with youth primarily, if I understand it right.
Yes. Just very briefly, the project that I'm heading at Peace Child is a global challenge where we're looking for young green entrepreneurs from all over the world to bring forth their business plans. And at the end of the day, we're trying to look for business plans that help lay the foundations for what is to be the green economy. So not only business plans that might be environmentally friendly, but that will also bring back to their communities. So that is, you know, just really short and sweet. That's what we're looking for green entrepreneurs, and we're mainly targeting business schools, but we're also looking, you know, in the development world, if there are any entrepreneurs that might be interested, they're welcome to participate. Yeah, so that's really, really short and sweet. If you have any questions, please feel free to also come talk to me afterwards.